Hey Virgo, I'm here to do your solar return read, and we're going to have a look at what's ahead for you quest style and also in the vein of Native American birth totem astrology. And you, Virgo, are bear totem. And we'll get into that medicine a little bit, but I do want to just clearly outline that this is for Virgo Sun natives. Although we are moving through this Virgoan energy, we just had a Virgo new moon that came in on the 2nd. It's a mirror moon for the Libra new moon ring of fire solar eclipse that will be coming in on the 2nd of October. So we all could benefit from understanding this energy at the time that we are moving through this. It will have an effect on how things are rolling out right now. So this is a great one for the collective to drop in on just around this particular lunar cycle from new moon to new moon. But of course, this is for you, Virgos. It is your time. It is your solar return. So I do wish you a very blessed celebrational trip around the sun. I hope it lines you up with the path of heart and a path of purpose, and that you have strength to weather any challenges and rise like cream to the top, and that there's just so much beauty ahead of you. So happy birthday to you. Okay. This read is for Virgo Sun natives born August 22nd to September 22nd. Bear totem. Let's talk about bear, what this medicine is about. Bears are considered to be stewards of the earth. So you feel a deep connection with the land. Yes. And you also find that this is the place where you usually are able to get your insights for planting your dreams for the future. I do feel like recently you had a vision when you were out in nature about some kind of dream you really want to see come into bloom this next trip around the sun for you. We got Queen of Water energy here. So there is a dream that you're nurturing. There is a lot of beauty around this. I do see it coming together for you. And this is a wonderful way to begin this energy. So whatever this is, it's something that personally fulfills you. It pours into your heart, and it has far-reaching results. There might be something you're tempering out in the process of this as well. You sort of need to balance out two sides of yourself. One side that is very emotional and soft and tender, and at times can be a little reclusive just because you feel things so deeply, you need time to integrate your emotions. And at other times you can actually be rather fiery for an earth sign, and that might be something that surprises people. I also feel like earth and somebody with strong fire or water placements may be coming in here. There might be the flowering of a connection, and it's something really special that's happening here. It does give temperance vibes, so this could be a Sagittarius, okay, with that sort of watery, fiery quality. But whatever this is, I do feel like it doesn't just stir you emotionally, it also stirs you passionately. So that's some beautiful energy to come in right off the bat. You may want to find a power spot, okay, somewhere where you can really connect with the earth. Maybe gardening is the way that you do that. Maybe you need to start a garden of some, some things that do well during the fall season, like marigolds and chrysanthemums, okay? So maybe you're doing a little gardening, or maybe you're getting some beautiful potted flowers, something to just sort of add a little color to your life. It can be a wonderful way to connect with your energy. Another plant ally of yours is violet, and violet is wonderful when you're feeling like maybe a little bit shy, or just, like it's hard for you to kind of like really take up your space on the stage of life. So if you find yourself in that position, like you really want to kind of like show what you got, you want to throw your hat in the ring this year, but maybe you're feeling a little bit like, I don't know if I'm ready for that, or maybe you're just feeling a little insecure about it for some reason, or maybe this, hat you want to toss into a ring is a particularly competitive circle that you're trying to navigate, and you're hoping to claim some kind of victory here, some kind of prize, some kind of level up, some kind of promotion. There's something about an elevation. I feel it's an elevation inside of you, just something you feel is personally, spiritually meaningful for you. Like if you can overcome this and you can rise above this, then you feel like job well done. You know what I'm saying? That you feel like you really overcame something that at one point had a lot of power over you. I also feel like the flip side of this is, this is an elevation that is seen. You know what I mean? It's like you got some kind of material advancement here. You have some kind of coveted position. You have some kind of relationship that others look to and say, "Ah, I wish that were my relationship." You know, I don't think that was always the case. I think this is something that's going to be cultivated for you as you move through this next year. And that relationship could be any relationship. I have to tell you, it could be a relationship with a lover. It could be a relationship with a parent. It could be a relationship with a friend. Okay. There could be somebody looking at some kind of connection you share with another and going, "Ah, I wish that I was able to have that in my life." Okay. So you may have some eyes on you in regard to this. There may be times when you've kind of like shrunk a little bit. You were shrinking, Violet, in order to make other people around you feel more comfortable, but I don't think you're doing that anymore. I see you really moving into a more confident energy. You're getting a little bit of your fire back, okay? But the fire's merged with the water. So there's sort of like there's this emotional intelligence here, even as your passion is activated, which means now you can really get some good things cooking, right? So I do see you achieving healing. I do see you getting the cauldron of dog death. This is good energy coming in. But for those times when maybe you would be more prone to sort of sit this one out, I don't need anybody to punch my dance card. I'm just going to kind of like hang back here. I'll let them take the credit. I'll let them take center stage. I don't see you doing that, okay? And if you do bump up against those places where you feel a little bit shy about bringing yourself forward, I highly recommend you work with violet flower essence, okay? It gives you the courage to sort of get your back up off the wall, right? Get down on it, man. Maybe you like funk. Maybe you're somewhere where you're listening to some funk music. Maybe you need to go out dancing. You need to get down on it to get over it, okay? That has some connotations there. Okay, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. But yeah, I think it's time to celebrate life a little bit. And I think you'll also feel a lot of celebration and just sort of this sense of more breathing room, more ahead of you when you do connect with the earth. I also have to bring forward the piece that bear totems are very deep thinkers, all right? Meditation is something that can be very beneficial for you, but it doesn't have to be meditation where you just sit in place. In fact, you could do hiking meditations where you're like tackling a hill. You view the hill as your challenge that you're grappling with, and you can really focus with intention as you climb that hill, as you do your hike. And that's a way where sometimes you're such deep thinkers, you can get caught up in your heads, and then you don't have any opportunity to sort of just, be in this open space where you can invite in more creative thinking. You can get a little bit linear at times. And I think you need more creative thinking at this time. Yes. You need a higher viewpoint here with 8 of sky to find a sense of freedom from repetitive thoughts or things that trouble the mind. Again, it's really interesting with you. Look at that sun, moon. So you might have some air sign placement, either it wouldn't be sun, but maybe your moon sign, okay? You may know an air sign that it's their sun sign, all right? There's something here, maybe something you've really been ruminating about. You've been in your thoughts about this. Meditate on it, okay? Don't take any immediate action on this. Wait until you feel clear and there's not so many cross currents, okay? That'll help you out greatly in that particular situation. Speaking of wind, you are associated with the direction west, okay? And your spirit keeper is the Majikiwis, which is very much a strengthening wind, right? That's where you can find your strength, is with the western wind. Call on that wind anytime you need to feel that strength in your life and a little extra like power behind your actions, behind your efforts. Think of it as like Ace of Wand kind of energy that you can call on. And a way you can kind of carry a piece of that medicine with you is any kind of scarlet colored crystals, like garnets would be wonderful. Garnets are very earthy, sort of grounded like energy too at the same time. And you can keep them in a little medicine bag or even a little pouch that you keep on your person. And what that does is it keeps the spirit of the Majkiwis alive in your daily life. You can also do crystal grids, you know. If you want to know more about how to do crystal grids in relation to the medicine wheel, if that's something that really speaks to you, if you're really drawn to working with the minerals and you'd like to have something kind of like out on a tabletop that you can look at, Majikiwis is usually represented by soapstone, but your gem is topaz. And topaz was one of the stones that was worn in the breastplate of the priest or the high priest. So it's a very sacred kind of energy, and you do hold a lot of this. It's when I tune into the Virgoan energy, it really makes me think of Archangel Michael. I have to say that same sort of like very clean cut, decisive, but also formidable energy in its acumen, in its ability to be so grounded, to be so strong, to be so solid and protective, that kind of like mama bear energy, right? Because bear totem, we also think of like mama bear, we think of the protector, protecting what's dear to you. And I do feel like you're doing that, you know? And yet you don't toot your own horn a lot. You tend to be more of a kind of humble spirit. You're fiercely loyal. I mean, once you have someone's back, you have their back. Sometimes you're disappointed in other people's divided loyalties, though, I have to say. It's a lesson you learn throughout your life, but you can't help it. You know, you are who you are, and love is your superpower. You're definitely a lover, not a fighter. You lead from the heart. You have difficulty when the ideal, you know, doesn't match up with reality, as it's likely to do often, because Virgos tend to have very lofty, perfectionistic ideals. I understand. I got a Venus in Virgo in the 12th house of Pisces. Okay, so tell me about it. I know all about that. You know, even though I'm not a Virgo sun. Well, in Vedic I would be. In Vedic I would be. But yeah, so I understand that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you can want something to be so perfect that it actually cuts you off from things that could be maybe not so perfect, maybe a little awkward, maybe a little messy, but they might have so much more potential, you know? So just something to consider, all right, as you move through this next year. I do think you'll have some things come your way that will sort of like illuminate that for you. I'm just kind of shuffling as I tell you about your sign. Yeah, I think this especially could apply in the area of commerce, any kind of business that you can do. It's got almost like take business on the road, or maybe go and travel to a different area to look for work because you want to get set up there, or you got some gig you want to do. Maybe you're a musician, you know, I could see you maybe preparing to go on tour, or go and play some gigs or something. Maybe you're even getting a gig that, you know, it doesn't pay half bad, man. It gives you more than, you know, a running bar tab. You know, it does more than just pay for gas to the gig. There might be some studio project you're getting involved in here, and there's like a return on your investments. There might be something like this coming in. Okay. Yes, there might be something coming in here that, you know, it might even be something you feel a little intimidated about, like, whoa, I didn't think I'd ever have this opportunity. But I do feel like your heart's aligned with it, okay? This looks good. This looks good. And it may be something that it starts out as it's like your passion, but then it really does become your trade. It does become the way that you earn your living. This is something that could be coming in for you here. I like this. And that brings me into the next point about your particular birth totem. Bears are known to be hard workers. you know, and often they don't get the credit they deserve. But I feel this is quite the opposite. I feel like you're getting some kind of credit this year. There's some kind of acknowledgement for your work, and there's some kind of work you're doing that you really love it. Like you feel like, yes, you know, this is what I was meant to do. Some of you may be taking on work that involves some kind of travel component, all right? And as far as your life lesson, like what you're here to learn, you're here to learn how to be less critical. And really, that's not just about others. It starts with yourself. Okay, so that perfectionistic thing again, all right? It's all about progress. It's about consistency. Consistency is what counts, Virgo. You don't have to nail it every time. You don't have to be perfect every time. And nobody's perfect. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have such beautiful diversity in our imperfections. It would be so boring if we were all perfect. So we don't learn when everything's nice and tidy and fits within the borders, even though I know that that disrupts your organizational sort of like vision point there, Virgo. But, you know, I've actually known more Virgos to be, you know, yes, they can be organized around certain things, but around other things, they can kind of be a little bit like, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. So I've seen both, okay? I've seen both. So I think maybe, you know, see if you can be a little freestyle with it. Do a little deconstruction work. I just got this journal that's all about just destroying it. Like every day has some exercise to destroy the journal, whether it's cutting something up or coloring all over the whole page so you can't even write on it anymore, or ripping out a page and crumpling it, and, you know, playing a game of soccer with it, you know, taking another page and making it like the goalposts. And for me, it's like disastrous because even though it's not my sun's sign, just that Venus placement, I get it. You know, it's like, I want it to be perfect. It needs to look just like that, right? And that's one thing, like I'll write something down like, I misspelled that. I'd exit out, and then I'd be like, how can I rip this page out of the journal and have it look perfect? So there might be something about this that you're kind of challenged with, you know. It could be with a creative project. It could be with your presentation in some way, your physical presentation, or something you want to say. Maybe there's something you want to say to another person. You're polishing it over and over and over and over again. You know what? It's never going to be just right. That's just not the way it is. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow of the moment. Sometimes messy's better. Messy's better because, you know, chaos, yes, it can be disruptive, and I understand it. You're the sixth house. You're the house of work and routine, and I get all that. But this is about entering that creative play space. I feel like there's some different aspects in you that you're pulling out with this solar return, especially if you have strong water or if you have strong fire placements in your chart. Play with the fire. Play with the water parts of your chart a little bit more. If you're like, no, I don't have any water, I don't have any fire in my chart. Well, you have the houses. You know what I'm saying? Pisces, that's the 12th house. Cancer, that's the 4th house. Scorpio, that's the 8th house. What action do you got going on in there? There's some kind of clue there, okay? And same thing with fire, right? Aries, that's the 1st house. Sagittarius, that's the 9th house. Leo, that's the 5th house. Right, so play around with that. You could also be dealing with any one of those characters that I just called in, but this is about being less critical in general. Be experimentative with sort of like opening your mind to different possibilities, broaden your view, and see what happens. The more you can do that and just allow yourself to be uncomfortable, or allow yourself to color outside the lines, or allow yourself to rip up a page and destroy it, or let it be messy when you first create it. It's an evolving process. A lot of you are artists, or you're musicians, or there's something you're creating. You're super critical about it, but you know, there's always rough drafts. It's not about, well, I'll get started on it as soon as I have this and this and this. No, just start with whatever you got now. You know, J.K. Rowling wrote that book, you know, Harry Potter. She wrote that book on napkins. On napkins over coffee. That's how she started. Can you imagine if she would have been like, oh no, just like ripped it apart because these are napkins. This isn't written in a pretty journal. It's not perfect. And I feel it's not just with the creative process. It's around anything, okay? It's around, you know, how you talk to somebody from your heart. It's around what you say. Don't worry about looking perfect. Sometimes you got to get a little messy, man, for it to get real. I do feel like things will get real for you this year. Your elemental, of course, is earth, okay? So thank goodness you have that quality. Even when things are rocking and rolling, you are able to stay really kind of like rooted down, which is wonderful, right? The only thing that can kind of be a bummer is sometimes you can get to a point where you get kind of like too weighed down. You know what I mean? And then you don't know how to lighten up and kind of take it a little bit more easy and have yourself some fun. I do feel like you're meant to have a whole lot more fun. Finally, your clan on the medicine wheel is turtle, which you also share with the other earth signs. So Taurus and Capricorn, all right? And as I brought those in, we got Joker of Water, a knot, okay? So yeah, there's some fixed situation you're dealing with here. It could potentially be with another earth sign. It could be with a Taurus, it could be with a Capricorn. It could be with another Virgo like you. But I feel like you're both kind of in this same position, like something's refusing to budge. It's like a real sticking point. It's a little bit of a knot that you have to undo. Some of you with the Joker of Water, you could be dealing with a Pisces, okay? Pisces is your descendant sign. If you're a Virgo rising and you're just happening to tune into this because you're curious about the Virgo energy in play right now, you are a Pisces descendant, right? This also makes me think of some kind of karma that you're trying to address here. Something's tricky. It's not easy to resolve, but there is a way through. All right, let's dive into the energy here. What is the quest before Virgo on this next trip around the sun? What is the quest before Virgo on this next trip around the sun? I'm using the Infinite Tarot, which I love this tarot deck. Okay, you do got a bit of, you know, a tower coming here. We got the bolt of lightning, but this is an illuminating bolt, okay? It actually gets you back on track for heading towards your North Node destiny. There might be something that comes in here sometime around, I'm thinking you'll likely deal with this sometime around that ring of fire with that mirror moon energy that you're having with Libra there, okay? There's some, you know, there's some truth that comes through. It's something that also breaks through like a storm, all right? It's an electrifying point, and it makes it clear what action you need to take to align yourself with your North Star, where you're meant to be. And look at it. We got somebody who's painting here. So there might be some kind of a bolt of inspiration too that comes in around that time, 22. Oh, it's 23:33 on the clock, even more so. All right. Yes. So play with it. Okay. I think you're being challenged. Like you're getting some opportunity to do something creative, but it's super outside your comfort zone, your usual genre, what you usually do with the people you normally work with. Or maybe you've always worked with a group and you're, you know, being called to do something solo, or you're working with a different kind of medium than you've ever worked. Maybe you're a musician. You take a hand at acting. I don't know. There's something here that's like, it's different for you, okay? And, you know, this is, you know, your energy in shadow aspect. It can be you being too critical of your art, too critical of your craft. You may be shocked when somebody really takes a liking to what you've created and it gives you some amazing opportunity. It was 24/24 when I brought that in, okay? So this could be a new vision that's sort of hatching in your life. And it could be coming through a partnership energy. This could be somebody who wants to invest in something you've created. They want to back it, okay? Or they want to give you some opportunity to up the ante in your skill set because they want you to slide in a position that maybe requires you have a little bit more like practical experience, but what you lack in practical experience, you more than make up for in your creativity or whatever this idea is. I do feel you might be surprised when this opportunity comes through for you. I also feel like you'll be a little nervous. You're a little nervous about this. There might be a contract that's involved with it. It's a bit of a challenge. You might be, you know, even doing something where you're kind of pitted against each other. Okay. It's like who's going to get the role, or who's going to get the spot in the band, or who's going to get, you know, the showing at the art gallery this month, something like that. Okay. You may know a painter. I'm noticing horse energy here too. So there could be some Sagittarius component, or somebody born in the year of the horse there. All right. Something electrifying that comes in. So I do see you kind of getting more out of your rational mind and being a little bit more experimental. And it has everything to do with this tower that's coming in here. Right. It's not a tower that's taking anything down. It's a tower that like wakes you up and it gets you on the right path. You'll be happy about this, right? It's challenging. Whatever this is, it's challenging. But I feel like if you're brave and you're willing to sort of like go through the storm of your own limiting thoughts, you're going to hit the mark with this, okay? What's Virgo's nemesis in this next trip around the sun? What could really work against Virgo? I mean, I think we've already looked at, you know, being too critical or having too high of standards, like perfectionistic. Like sometimes people set their standards too high because they know there's no way anybody can ever match those standards. There's no way it can ever happen. So it's like a kind of like a actually very clever way to keep yourself sort of playing small. Because if you think there's no way that anything or anybody can ever live up to this ideal, then well, why bother? You know what I'm saying? So let's see what this is about. What is your nemesis in this next trip around the sun, Virgo? There's something you're developing here. Oh, what's this? Ooh, I like this. This is really good. Look, you're coming into like a harvest time. We got bounty. This is a new beginning for you, okay? I feel like where you felt like you really were having to sort of like swim upstream and it was really hard to get things going. I think from here, you're just being carried. Like so many things are starting to come together for you. You know, this is a big harvest. I feel like you're going to be feeling really good by that hunter's moon that comes in October. It's a super moon. All the eclipse energy is gone. I feel like that's when the light really, you know, comes back into your life. You may even be partnered up with somebody new that, you know, makes you feel kind of proud. You're really proud to have this person, you know, vouching for you, or you're really proud to be dating this person, or you're proud to be invited to partner on something with a character here. There may even be some news that's spreading about this. And there may have been something that was like, yeah, catch and release, you know? It could have been a water sign, okay? You might have tried to do some dating, you know? You might have been like, yeah, there's plenty of fish in the sea, but, you know, nothing to crow about. That's what I just heard. And then you find somebody that you're like, oh, okay, now you will cock-a-doodle-doo. I feel like this is something I can get down with. Yeah, I think it lights your fire, okay? Something gets cooking here, but I feel like there's like some aspect of this, like whatever this is, whoever you're partnering with here, not only does it like light the fire, but there's some kind of work involved with this too. So you could be connecting around a project. It could become something more down the road, I have to say. But I do feel like this is really speaking to where you have concerns about how am I going to sustain myself financially? How am I going to, you know, create the kind of life I want to live? I feel like it's lining up for you. This is bounty. It looks good. And I feel like it's going to be a lot easier for you. I don't think it was easy getting here. You know, you've been through some storms. But there's something just around the bend here for you, and it does look good. It's a manifestation, right? It is going down. I also think it's because, you know, you're willing to be a little bit more creative. You're willing to be a little bit more daring. You're willing to challenge your comfort zone. And the more that you do that, the more it's going to open up opportunities for you. And the more you're going to find you're stepping into rooms that you thought, oh, I'd never be able to step into this room. No, it's perfect for you. You never saw yourself being able to, you know, step into that position because you always let other people kind of have the shine, you know, but it's your turn, right? Your turn. And I heard rise and shine, right? So I do think there's something here that it is an elevation of status or something. What is the spirit ally for Virgo as they move through this next trip around the sun? What is the spirit ally for Virgo as they move through this next trip around the sun, Spirit? What is the ally for Virgo as they travel through this Next trip around the sun. What is the spirit ally for Virgo? What spirit should they embody to step forward in the most empowering way? Crossing influence, water family, water spirit. Okay, so this is about really figuring out, okay, what is my star? Like, where do I really want to nurture a vision? You know, if you're finding that you're kind of like having to drag your heels to pour energy into a certain project or a certain creative idea you had, then understand that that's a clue that either it's just not really who you are now. Maybe you wanted to do that at one point, but now something's changed for you. Or it could be that there's something about it that you're conforming too much and you need to sort of be a little bit more mutable with it. I mean, you are a mutable sign. You're Mercurian, you know what I mean? So you do have that ability to, adapt. And I do feel like this is about you playing with it a little bit more, mimicking your descendant sign a little bit more, mirroring them a little bit more, mirroring a Pisces a little bit more, okay? You could also have an Aquarian that's in your life. I'm just seeing like water bearer energy here. I think this is about taking on that Aquarian mindset. So a good clue for you, since you do tend to be, a steward of the earth, and you are somebody who can really like stand up, you're fiercely loyal. You can be fiercely loyal to a cause too. When you really believe in something, you'll get behind it. So this could be a clue about something you're meant to nurture here. It's something that maybe brings a group of people together, or it's a dream you have for the collective, or it's something you think it can make the world a better place, or it's some, land that you want to tend to. Some of you want to do like outdoor education. You want to weave this into the work you're doing, especially any kind of counseling work you're doing or healing work you're doing. There's something about whatever this is, you need to nurture it because it is aligned with your destiny. All right. It's something that's really aligned with you on an emotional level. It fulfills you. And you have a lot to share here. You have a lot to share here. The only thing I want to say is make sure that you're always keeping like your coffers full. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a full vessel that is sharing with others. So make sure that you are paying attention to that, just really taking care of yourself. Yeah. And again, you have some brilliant, and it wanted to come out, so I have to show it. You have some brilliant idea that is coming in here. It's a powerful idea. It's a big change for you when this comes in. It moves you into a greater position of power. It also moves you forward, and it moves you forward quickly with the wheel and 7 of fire. This is something worth defending, okay? And you definitely should act on this. You should definitely act on this, and you should be aware of anybody who wants to partner with you on it. I think whatever this is, I feel like it's your baby. It's your idea. So you need to really make sure that you hold that peace. Be careful about anything you sign contractually. Again, I mean, the wheel, it makes me think of the Wheel of Fortune. It does make me think of Sagittarian energy. So this could be something that moves you into greater expansion. This could be something that maybe goes down a track you never thought you would do before. Let's say you do work as a counselor. Maybe you start bringing in a little bit more of a philosophical approach with your clients, or you're bringing some creative element in with your clients. Maybe there's something you want to share that you think can just like make people have hope again, right? This can even be like within a community, within a group of friends, this can be within a family. You have a brilliant idea how to move something forward. It doesn't just help you, it helps others. And it's about standing in your power here too. And I feel like you're the one who holds the power to activate this change because it's your inspiration. And it does get things moving. And you have a perspective that others don't see. And others may argue with you, but you may need to stand alone at times to act on this. But to do so is your empowerment. I really see that, okay? Yeah, Joker's wild, okay? I feel like, you're a bit of a time bender here. Time is on your side. You know how to work with time. Maybe just in the nick of time, you pull something off, this brilliant idea comes in. And where you thought there was no way to go forward, here comes your chariot. Okay, you could be dealing with a Cancer too. You could be dealing with Cancer, Leo, Cusper specifically. Interesting. Okay, what is the lay of the land for Virgo in this next trip around the sun? What is the lay of the land for Virgo in this next trip around the sun? What is the lay of the land for Virgo in this next trip around the sun, Spirit? What is the lay of the land for Virgo in this next trip around the sun, Spirit? What is the lay of the land for Virgo in the next trip around the sun? Well, let's figure it out. I want to make sure I take the perfect route. I want to make sure there's no detours. I want to make sure that I have it all mapped out. I think there's a lot coming in about just go with the flow, okay? Even when it feels a little bit like, ooh, okay, see, look, water, vision. You need to flow like water as you move forward here. Flow like water, and then you'll be able to see with eyes of love. Flow like water. Some of you may need to have a good cry first, okay? You may have really been holding something in about something that was really a disappointment to you. And you just have really needed to let that go. So maybe it's not weighing on you anymore, and you can start to look at love with fresh eyes. There's like some old clear out emotions that need to happen here. I also feel like that's what you got your sights set on. Love is really important to you. Finding the path of heart is really important to you. But there's something here, it's a special wish that's associated with your heart. And it's something that you view as your sun. You view it as your happiness. For some of you, it is a son. You have a son or you have sons. They are your happiness. They are your heart. They have a vision. You want to support them in this. You see some of you in them, like dreams that you had, they're activating them. You want to show them the support you felt you never had. That coming in for some of you, okay? Some of you may have grown up with a lot of criticism too, all right? I feel like this is getting beyond disappointments. This is getting beyond criticism. This is you having your own vision. It's a vision of love for a lot of you. It's something really close to your heart. It may be somebody who has your heart. I do feel like this is what your sights are set on. And that's kind of the whole lay of your land, you know? You want the promised land. Yeah, look at that. 10 of fire. You want that sun. You want that happiness. I do feel like in this next trip around the sun, this happiness is coming into view for you, all right? So it's good. What's the beef? What's the meat of the matter? Or the heart of the matter? What is the energy kind of like working for or against Virgo here in this next trip around the sun? What's the beef? What's the meat of the matter as Virgo makes this next trip around the sun? What's the beef? What's the meat of the matter? Oh, that just flipped up the middle of the deck. Look at that. Queen of fire. Ooh, okay. Queen of fire. Ooh, Yoni. Yeah, you have a vision of love, all right, but not just any kind of love. I feel like you also want a little sexual healing. You want some passion. You don't want to just, hook up. I feel like you're moving away from that. If you went through a period of that, I don't think that's doing that for you anymore. You want to connect with somebody on a real deep level. You want it to be healing, you know what I mean? Yes. And you also are maybe doing some healing for yourself too, just from past intimate connections. There's a lot of energy you're clearing out here as well. So you can kind of like, hold court over this space. You're like, I don't want any of these old energies here. I don't want any of these old attachments. I'm looking for a different kind of way to connect here. Yeah. You're finding some peace, you're rising above something. You're letting it be water under the bridge. You're letting it flow on, and you're finding peace. You're doing some release work. You're doing some cleansing work here. Okay, this is good. I feel like you will get through that, and you're going to like really reclaim your body. You're really going to reclaim your own sense of personal attractiveness. I think you're really going to reclaim your sensual desires too. And I think you're going to find them met. It could be with a Queen of Fire, or, you know, you could be activating the fire in your chart, the fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could also be dealing with a masculine who used to be really guarded, you know, and they're sort of like letting more of their emotions come through, especially as you're connecting intimately. It's a nice change. Okay, let's see. What's coming in here as far as what are the past consequences coming around the bend, like the past actions? What are the consequences that Virgo needs to deal with, the karmic work that Virgo needs to deal with in this next trip around the sun? Crossing energy here. Something about your spirituality, something about your faith, and some way where you may have conformed to sort of like the family ideal or family desires, but maybe you're wanting to move away from that now. You have a different kind of spiritual view or a different philosophy. Some of you may feel like you're not really spiritual at all. You have a different, more like kind of just pragmatic view of life. And you're wanting to own that. You're wanting to live by that on your own terms. Some of you are recommitting to a faith. You're taking your faith to a deeper level. You've noticed the power of prayer, especially in regard to how it's healed some kind of rift, either in like a close relationship or a family dynamic or even some kind of community issue. I think you're starting to find a way to work through this. This could even be some kind of spiritual counseling among a group. Like it doesn't even have to be family. It certainly could be some kind of family counseling. I see that. I feel like if it's family counseling, it's around somebody you share children with and it's an ex and there's some kind of integration healing work that's happening there. But this could even be like a friendship circle or something, or even a band, you know? If you created together and maybe you had a falling out, maybe the band wants to get back together, but there's some things that need to be addressed there. You might be working with somebody who can help you communicate with each other in a way where you're not like, you know, cutting each other down or stepping on each other's toes, but everybody feels like their contribution gets added to the mix. Interesting. Yeah, and there, look, there's it is on the bottom of the deck, the trade. Okay. So yeah, some of you might be touring. You might be like getting on the road and you know, you need to make sure that you're all like on the same page with this. You might kind of take charge of that a little bit. You might feel like, oh my God, it's going to take a real, you know, hope and a prayer to make this thing pull off. It's like corralling cats. I think you'll figure it out, okay? And it'll work out just fine for you. So yeah, maybe you feel like I always have to take this on. Why do I have to be the reasonable one? Why do I always have to be the one who can kind of look at things from a higher perspective, you know, do the right thing even when it isn't easy, and I'm always having to try to like talk sense into people? Well, you don't have to do anything, Virgo. You're only responsible for yourself. But I do feel like there's something here that's important to you, okay? It's something you've been praying about. And I do think it's a circumstance where maybe you were dealing with some combative energies, okay? There could have been some combative outside energies that were causing some problems. And so you wanted to open up a certain door of opportunity, but you just weren't able to. I feel like you're getting a key that opens up that door of opportunity. That'll probably come through pretty soon, all right? I feel like that's something that actually might even come through within the next 6 weeks, okay? It'll be good for you. And if you're worried about this on any level financially, don't worry about it, okay? It could be a door of opportunity in terms of some kind of work, some kind of position that you applied for, or you know, something that it requires you have some kind of material resources in order to make this possible. I see it working out, okay? So I think, you know, you've burned up some brownie points here, it looks like, with Spirit. So they're going to help you out here with this. You look for messages to come in around this. There's going to be some kind of resolution here, something you've been praying about, right? You had a big part to play in it, I have to say. Really making this, you know, get through the BS and to the other side where there could be this like resolution in this matter, right? What is Virgo's power to be gained through mastery as they make this next trip around the sun? And with that group dynamic situation, I see definitely by next summer, this will be like righted, like Everyone will have, you know, what they're supposed to have. There will be a new understanding here. All right. So the power to be gained, look at it's in your ability to rise above and find your balance, you know, to get out of your head and kind of elevate it a little bit more. I feel like you're meant to go more up into the ether energy a little bit. You're supposed to, you know, allow yourself to dream a little, you know, allow yourself to just sort of imagine a little bit more. Get out of the routine. You need to shake up your routine a little bit. And for some of you, this is like actively spending some time just letting yourself have space to vision, to dream, time to meditate. You don't have to sit in lotus position and om it out. I mean, you can sit on a hilltop and watch the sun go down and meditate on that. You can create any kind of meditation you want. You can create a meditation on in motion, you know, take it on walk, man. Take it on a walk and let your environment reveal the answers to you. You're so connected to the earth. You're a steward of the earth. So a lot of your guidance, a lot of information comes through. And I do feel like something's going to come through for you on the Ring of Fire, new moon in Libra on the 2nd of October, that it does have you like seeing a certain star come into view. And I think that's going to give you a lot of peace. Okay. You're going to think things work out after all. That's what I heard. Things work out after all. Okay. That's quite a bit of power to gain, to be able to rise above, like, you know, just the chatter of the mind, and to just allow yourself to be in a state of openness. I feel like there's so much musing energy that comes in for you when you do that, Virgo. All right. What's at stake for those you love that you want to share this next stage of your life with, that you want to share this next chapter with? What's at stake for you and those you love, those you want to travel forward with you here? Right, I like this. Okay, yeah, you got some angelic help here. You are standing strong, and you have a different perspective in a situation where there has been a lot of confusion, a lot of smoke screens, you know, a lot of haze. Nothing's been very clear, but you see a very clear way to get to happiness here. There's something you've risen above, and you got sort of like a bird's eye view. I like this energy. And you have a real strong foundation here. Okay. Some people may think you're being a little icy right now because you're being very blunt. You're just calling it as it is. Okay. And yes, you do have some strong truth you're acting from here. You are being directed by source with the high Ace of Fire, and you also got some heat behind it too. So I see you taking a really strong action, and you definitely got angels teaming up with you for this risk that you're about to take. And it is something that's aligned for you. It's something that's divinely aligned. And you'll know when to take this action. But with that Ace of Fire coming out there, I do feel like this is an action you will take in the fall. Okay. So there's a lot popping off for you this fall. It's some way to turn around something you've been mourning for too long. There's been some kind of heartache or some kind of disappointment here, and you've been really struggling with this, not knowing what to do. And then suddenly you have the answer you need. And it's because you got a little distance from it. So you were able to cut through the haze, cut through the confusion, and really see the truth in a situation. And then it's like you feel like you got a little divine intervention comes in here, and it lines things up in such a way where suddenly you got this power in your hand to take a strong action that can affect change and to secure happiness, and you're going to go for it, right? It's really beautiful energy. It ends some kind of separation, or it ends some kind of heartache for you. All right, what's at stake for the new world that Virgo wants to bring into being in this next trip around the sun? This looks really good, Virgo. What's at stake for what Virgo wants to bring into being for their new world as they make this next trip around the sun? Give us information on this, Spirit. What is at stake for the new world that Virgo wants to bring into being during this next trip around the sun? What's at stake? Oh, okay. All right, you should be prepared that, you know, there is going to be some phone call that comes through here, you know, and for you, it feels like a bit of an emergency. This might be something that if you allow yourself to get, you know, sort of overwhelmed by this, because I feel like with the red phone coming in here, it's giving me the vibe of like, it's not so much an emergency, but I think you view it as an emergency, okay? You view it as an emergency because you don't get to like kind of be in your head and like really dissect it and understand every aspect of it. It's like, this is important when this comes through. You got to answer this call. But in order to answer this call, I feel it's an opportunity that's coming through for you. You got to act real fast. You're not going to have your usual time to like deliberate about this. It's like you're either in or you're out, okay? And yes, please do be aware of really thoroughly looking over legal documents before you sign them with anything you're agreeing to. Have an attorney look at it, absolutely. But I do think whatever this is, you need to act on it. And you feel like it's an emergency, you know? You feel like it's an emergency. If you act on it, you're afraid of things kind of going south. It's actually the opposite. Like, you need to view it with enthusiasm, not as an emergency. But this is a message that comes through. Somebody's going to call you, okay? Look, it's your happiness at the end of the rainbow there with the 10 of sky. This is beautiful. It's something that comes in after a storm. And maybe you did go through a period where you got some really bad news. And it was a material matter. And it's something that threw your life into chaos. It disrupted your security. It might have disrupted your money. You've been stressed out. You might have had a hard time staying grounded lately. You've been maybe at times depressed. This was a lot to deal with. At one point, maybe you were dealing with one like crisis after another, but I feel like this has been quelled. That time is over. And this is some really good opportunity coming your way, but you are going to have to act on it if you want it. Because I think if you like sort of drag your heels, or if you don't build up the confidence to go for it, it will go to somebody else. I'm picking that up very strongly for you, Virgo, okay? So yes, don't let this pass you by. It's too good. It's something that's going to fuel you. It's like fuel for your fire, man, all right? A lot of happiness there with this opportunity. And it may be, again, to bring people together, to bring a diverse group of people together, bring a community together. Everybody has different views. Bring a band together. You weren't on the same side. You didn't have the same creative vision. Now you're harmonizing with each other, okay? There's a lot of different ways this could come through, but you'll know what it means for you, especially as the year moves on, I hear. Okay, and let's see here what your cookie is. Well, you got more Joker energy. Yeah, look at this. It's wild. You're going to be like sitting on top of the world. Time is on your side. You got the Joker sky coming in again. A lot of air energy there, okay? So yes, you're going to be sitting on top of the world. And like I said, it's just like this flow. All you have to do is let go. Give yourself over to that energy of the water and let this river of life carry you forward, okay? There's some beautiful alignment coming in for you. It's a vision. It's a dream. It's something that you hoped for, but maybe it seemed too lofty at one point. You're going to earth this. And at one point you may have thought, oh no, there's no way, time's running out. No, you have time on your side. It's perfect timing with this. You will see how blessed up you are in regard to this, okay? Beautiful energy. Okay, what is the target for Virgo as they move through this next trip around the sun? What should their focus be? Where should they keep their sights set? Where should they keep their sights set in this next trip around the sun? Queen of Earth on your treasure. Look at that. You shine bright like a diamond, an impenetrable diamond. Absolute clarity, beauty. You're a rare gem. There's also something here about, yes, materially, things are going to look really good for you, okay? And a lot of beauty coming in here. You could be connecting with a Queen of Earth too. Again, I got the same message, if it's a masculine, it's somebody that used to have a hard time like letting you in emotionally. Now, and they used to speak in riddles, I heard. Okay, now they speak with absolute clarity, transparency. Okay. I feel like whatever this is, it's your treasure and it's an earth matter. So I see finances increasing, especially in terms of work. If you're building a business of your own, it looks really good. If you're doubting that right now, there will be a lot of communication coming through that will prove this. I also feel like March is really going to be when you see this thing take off. There's growth, okay? There's steady growth, but you really see this thing take off in March. And from there, it's just a steady climb, okay? I also feel like you need to get, you know, a little more on top of your workspace and prioritizing with your calendar, like maybe not spend so much time on projects that you know you want to kind of like phase out, or you want to divert some of your attention toward this dream project or this opportunity that's coming into view, and get that a little organized, and that will work out on your behalf, okay? So this looks great. Let's get you 3 gates of initiation. I mean, we're already looking at fall here coming in. We also want to look at, let's see, so winter, spring, summer, okay? So let's let this one here, this last one here is going to be summer, okay? This middle one's going to be spring. And this one here is going to be winter, all right? So your initiatory gateway for winter time is going to be all about heading due north, all right? You're right in alignment to rise up. You're getting out of the south node. You've settled some karmic matter. You're activating your destiny. You know exactly where you're going. Sights on lock. This is really good energy. What might this have to do with? Ooh, some truth that you're acting on here. There's some peace that's coming through here. The sun's breaking through those clouds of confusion. See? You got your face toward the sky. I see your things are looking up for you. This peace is coming through. This wish is coming true for happiness. All you have to do is give yourself over to the flow of that waterfall, and grace will just help you arrive there with so much ease. Beautiful energy. Okay, let's have a look at spring. Ooh, and here comes the fire, okay? So fire tested truth. You will have to act on your truth. You're going to have to use that fire, that power you have at your disposal to walk through this door of opportunity. Once you go through this door of opportunity, there's no going back, okay? I heard this is what makes a name for yourself, right? I think there's something here that, yeah, look, this is that creative project coming through there. So yes, there's some kind of partnership here. There's something that's lighting your fire. It's building light in your life. It's blazing a trail. It's getting you more recognition, and it's your time to shine. Shine bright like a diamond. So that looks really good in the spring next year. Summer next year, as you head up to your birthday. Oh, yes, you hit the mark. Look at that. You get your star. You're going to activate your destiny. I love this. And you may be connecting with some from the sky families of air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's on the bottom of the deck here? This is an earth matter. So there could be, you know, something you're actually planning here. This is something you're planning in material reality. There's a passage of time involved. So I feel like it won't be until next July that you see the full scope of this. Don't let that disappoint you, because the foundation is being laid in such a way that when this pops off, it's unlike anything you've ever experienced before. I think you're going to be very happy with the way things turn out for you, Virgo. And let me see. What do I want to bring in? Just with the way that ended with the spirit of the sky energy. Why don't we get you? I'm going to just do a cut of deck with the archangels here. And angel messages, please, for Bear Totem, for Virgos on this next trip around the sun. Angel messages, please, for Virgo, Bear Totem, this next trip around the sun. Overarching theme. It's real simple. We're just going to do a cut of the deck here. 10 of Michael. Look, I told you, it's your turn to take center stage. Yes, I love it. A situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you and take a bow, because you did a really good job there, okay? Page of Gabriel. Okay, this is important news coming in about this opportunity I told you about. Follow your passion. You're ready for any challenge. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. Huzzah!